If you've ever created a Unity project in built-in and realized you needed to switch to URP, but suddenly everything is pink now, this video is going to help you a lot. Today, I'll show you how to convert a Unity project both ways, from built-in to URP, and from URP back to built-in. I'll also explain what breaks, why it breaks, and how to fix it quickly. Here's the exact setup I'm using so you can follow along. This project was created with the built-in render pipeline using standard shaders. While this scene comes from a Unity asset demo, but since this project is still built in, every URP material shows up pink. Quick disclaimer before we convert anything, built-in light baking and the post-processing stack do not carry over to URP. URP uses a completely different rendering path and a different post-processing system called volumes. So after converting, you'll need to rebake lighting and rebuild post-processing. The first thing you want to do is install URP from the package manager. So in Window, Package Manager, and you can search RP and look for Universal RP and click Install. Once that's done, let's create the URP pipeline asset. So in your project window, right-click, Create, Rendering, URP asset with Universal Renderer. So this is going to control how URP renders your scene. And let's name it URP Render Asset. Now with that created, we can assign the URP asset to both graphics and quality settings. So in Edit, Project Settings, Graphics, and we're just going to set it to the asset we just created. All right. And lastly, in quality, we're going to set the render pipeline asset for every single quality level. Let's now upgrade our materials with the render pipeline converter, which is a built-in tool that upgrades most built-in assets to URP automatically, handling materials, terrain, and supported shaders. So let's go into Window, Rendering, and Render Pipeline Converter. And we're going to choose Material Upgrade inside of the built-in to URP. Click Initialize and Convert Assets. And as you can see, it seems like this is working. And it's now under URP lit. Let's check on these errors that came through when we were doing our material upgrade. So if we click this, we can see the changes made. It seems like our built-in materials were converted properly. However, there were some issues doing Text Mesh Pro and a skybox material. However, Text Mesh Pro doesn't require URP to render, and this skybox is also on its own shader. So we can actually ignore these. If any materials are still pink, they're usually using unsupported or legacy shaders. So just switch them to URP lit and reassign textures if needed. So from standard, change them over to universal render pipeline and lit. And that should fix it. Now, as you can see, our built-in scene works. Let's check our URP. Our URP scene also works. Now let's check the demo. And it seems like everything is rendering properly here too. Now let's convert back to built-in. This part is a little bit less automated. So let's go to project settings as we were doing before. Go to graphics and let's just remove this. Put it as none. Same thing on quality. Alright, so essentially we're just redoing our steps so that it goes back to the standard shader. As you can see, URP shaders aren't compatible with the built-in renderer, so pink materials are expected. So in order to fix this, we have to switch our URP shaders back to standard. So I'm going to go to the scene that we're in, our built-in scene. I'm going to select dependencies, and I'm going to choose all of the materials that are relevant here. And I'm going to shift click and change the shaders back to standard. And that should fix it. Today, we covered installing and assigning URP, using the render pipeline converter to upgrade materials, fixing pink shaders manually, and switching back to built-in when needed. So now, you know how to switch between the built-in render pipeline and URP. Ideally, this is a choice you want to make before starting a project. And we have a full video on how to choose the correct render pipeline for your project, so make sure to check that out on our channel. If this helped you fix your pink materials and understand how pipeline conversion actually works, leave a like and comment what you want covered next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.